In the previous lesson, we covered what trading is, what are different styles of trading, and the reality of becoming a day trader. Now it's time to actually start working with the charts. In this lesson, I'm going to show you TradingView from scratch. We will set up our chart, create a watch list, understand time frames and indicators, create alerts, and build a clean workspace that we will use throughout Voodoo Academy. So now when we first open up TradingView, as you can see, this is the view that we see in TradingView. Now I would click on Get Started, and over here you can use the TradingView for free, or you can actually jump into one of the subscription models. At this point we're going to use the TradingView for free. So at this point I'm not going to choose any type of subscription model, but of course if you're interested you can go through here and check the difference between different packages that they offer. So I will click on sign up, and over here you have the choice to select between continue with Google or Apple, Facebook, LinkedIn, etc., or just simply use your email address. So as soon as we create the account, it's going to redirect us to this page. Of course we could accept or deny the cookies, so let's say I'm not going to allow this at this moment. And over here, as you can see on top, we have products, community, markets, brokers, and more. So what we are going to select over here is products, and then after that we're going to click on super charts. Then as soon as we click on super charts, we come to this user interface that I'm going to explain for you guys right now, how this interface looks like, what are the names and different parts, and what do we want to see throughout Voodoo Academy. One thing to make sure we understand is that TradingView can be a platform to use or to start our trading. However, we mainly use TradingView for analyzing the market. When we want to look at a specific chart, a specific indices or forex pair or any type of instrument, we come to TradingView. Of course, depending on the broker that you choose, you could connect your TradingView account to your broker account. But for me personally, I use MT4 or MT5 that I will explain later how to use those applications to execute a trade. And I only use TradingView for market analysis. But for now, don't worry about trading. We want to use TradingView to analyze the market, to see how the price action moves. And also we want to make sure what this tool offers to us to trade better. Okay, so at this point, as you can see, the first UI that we have over here is of course the candlestick chart. So in the candlestick chart, we can see in this case the Apple Inc. 1-day time frame and a NASDAQ server. So on the right side, we have the watch list, we have the symbols, the last price, the change, and the change percentage. We could have our indices as a category or grouped by indices, or we can see our stocks, for example, again grouped by stocks. We could collapse them, we could close them. Futures such as US oil, gold, silver, some forex pairs like your USD, GBP/USD, or USD JPY, and of course some sort of crypto as well over here. So at this point we have our watch list on the right side. So over here, as you can see, there are 4 buttons: the watch list, details, and news. Then we have alerts. So if you click alerts, then we see a list of alerts that we have, or we have object tree over here. And at the end we have this chats tab. So essentially in Voodoo Academy, the only thing we use over here is the watch list and the alerts that I'm going to show you how to use very soon. On top toolbar, as you can see over here, so we can actually define a name for our watch list. So in this case, essentially we could rename it. Say for example, we could call it Voodoo. I can just rename this, and as you can see, it's written Voodoo over there. Then there's this button which is a layout setup. So if I click on it, I can choose if I want to have in my chart only one view or a split view. At this case, if I want to have a split view, I have to subscribe. So this is a feature that you need to have subscription, and it's not available on the free tier, and so on and so forth. So you can choose different layouts over here. We have the setting button over here, so if I click on settings, then we can see the charts, the symbols, status lines, scale lines, the canvas itself, trading, some general settings, alerts, and events. So we're going to go through some of these a little bit later on, and I will explain this to you guys, what they do. Over here we have indicators. So if I click on indicators, as you can see, I can go through technical, fundamental indicators, or any type of indicators that I would like to use in my chart. I can see it. So for example, if I look for RSI, as you can see, it gives me the relative strength index. So if I click on this over here, now I can see the RSI displayed on the bottom of this page. So if I want to close it, if I want to collapse, I click on this button, or I can just click on this delete pane, so it just removes this indicator for me. And if I click again, let's say I choose RSI, and over here, as you can see, I have this arrow, so I can also see the vol, so I can open or close essentially a specific indicator. So if I save this indicator could show up on this over here as well. So at this point, I'm going to delete this, and this VOL is, as you can see over here, the volume on the bottom. So if I come over here, click on this I button, I can actually hide it or unhide it, or I can go to setting for this indicator and define what type of setting I would like to have for this. Or if I don't need it, I simply come over here and click on this delete, and it would be removed from here. Now over here, when you click on any of these instruments, as you can see, the value changes. It shows the index, the performance, the seasonals, technicals, etc. In Voodoo Academy, we do not care about this. We just minimize it down here, and we never check, because it's not that type of information that would help us trade better. Now, in the first, or in the main pane, as you can see over here, you can see the detail, you can see the market, you can see the price action, how it actually looks like. And if you would like to zoom in more, so we could zoom in vertically. If I hover my mouse over here and click and hold, drag up and down, as you can see, I can make it bigger or smaller. And over here with mouse wheel, I can actually zoom in up or down with the mouse wheel. So it should, or it could show me a better view if I want to see more zoom in or zoom out type of view on this instrument. Now, next to the indicators, there is this candle. So if I click on candles, as you can see, we have candles, bars, halo candles, volume, lines, etc. So I like to keep also lines over here. So I click on the star over here, so to add it to my favorite. So if I click away, as you can see right now, I have candles, but also I have lines. So if I click on line, it just shows me as a line. Now, why would I use line? Sometimes I use line because it makes it easier for me, for example, to understand if the market is bullish or if the market is bearish, because this way I can see the price action in a more linear way. But if I click on the candle, I just see the candles, and it might not be always clear if the market is bullish or bearish, or how the market actually looks like. Because when you have the candles, depending on the server that you use, and I'm going to explain what the server is, there are sometimes gaps. So as you can see, for example, this candle right here ends here, but then the next one starts from here. So there is this gap between these candles. There are some indicators that you could use to fill the gaps. I do not recommend that, because they are not realistic price action. So this is something I will explain a little bit, what are the servers and how to differentiate between them. Next thing is the time frame, or TF. At this point, as you can see, it just says D, which is 1 day. So if I click on it, as you can see over here, there are many more time frames that you can actually add. The time frames that I like to add usually are 5 minutes, 30 minutes, 1 hour, 4 hour, 1 day, and 1 week. So now, as you can see, these time frames all show up over here, and I can just simply click on those, and it would show me the candles in that specific time frame. Now, what does a time frame mean? It means right now I have selected the daily time frame. It means every single candle represents 1 day. Now, if I click on 1 hour, it means every single candle indicates 1 hour. So at this point, as you can see, this is, let's say, August 26, 1930, 1330, 1430, 1530, and so on and so forth. Why? Because each candle represents only 1 hour. Now, if I go to the daily, then this is August 07, August 06, August 05, etc., etc. So now each candle represents 1 day. Next thing I would like to discuss over here is this left panel over here. So I would like to usually use some of these tools over there. So if I click over here on this arrow, as you can see, it shows cross, dot, arrow, etc. And the same for this one. So if I click on here, I can see trend line, I can see horizontal line, horizontal ray. For example, I like the horizontal line, so I go over here, I favorite it, and horizontal ray the same. I click on favorite, and as you can see, it appears right here. So I can just grab this tool and let's say put it at the bottom, so it doesn't have to be outside my view. Now, for example, I can go over here. I like to see the long position. I like to see the short position, for example. If I come over here, if I would like to see any specific patterns, then I could use it. For me personally, I never use this, so I will just leave it as is. We have on here, for example, Fibonacci retracement. Fibonacci is one of those very handy tools. I will explain later on how to use it. At this moment, I can skip it, so I don't need to bring it over here to my favorite. For example, I use rectangles, I use path, maybe sometimes I use ellipsis. So these are the tools that I might use, or for example, text. So I can actually show text as well. So as you can see, all of these my favorite tools line up over here. So I put it down here that I need. And the ruler, for example, maybe I need it, maybe I not. Then I just maybe keep it over here. Now, you already know how this UI looks like. On the right side, we have our watch list. On top, we can name and save our watch list. On top part, we can see the indicators. We can see the style of the charts. We can see our favorite time frames. On the left side, we see some sort of tools that we could use. And if we have them, any of them marked as favorite, they will show up on this pane over here that we can actually move it around, place it wherever we would like to. So I could just put it here and we could see it at all time. Now, the next thing that I would like to see, or I would like to show, is how different servers are. Say for example, we don't have any of these. So if I actually come over here, I can actually simply click on delete, and it just deletes for me that specific symbol. So I'm gonna actually clear the watch list, so we could actually start from the beginning. So I will remove all the unnecessary things over here. And now our watch list is completely empty. So we would like to have our own watch list. The first thing I would like to see, for example, is, let's say, Forex pairs. My favorite Forex pair, for example, Euro USD. I just simply type. I don't need to click anywhere. I just simply type as long as I am present in this view, in this UI. The moment you type something, the symbol appears. So now if I click escape on the keyboard, it just goes away. So I just click wherever, I start typing Euro USD, and as you can see over here, I see different Euro USDs over here. So it shows me a list of Euro USD. However, when I look at on the right side, there are different essentially brokers. So each broker can have their own dedicated server. So for example, first one is Oanda, FXCM, Forex.com, ICE, Pepperstone, blah, blah, blah. So you need to understand, if you are using a broker that has a server, you need to use that server. Say, for example, If you're using Oando as a broker, then you choose Oando server. Now, Oando server, as you can see, looks like this. So we have the Euro USD pair, 1 hour time frame on it, Oando server. And as you can see this indicator on top left of the screen. Now, there are two prices, as you can see over here. There's a sell price and then there's a buy price. So sell price is when you sell, or when you enter a sell position, that's the price you get in. And when you buy, that's the position that you get in with that specific price. So now if I want to keep this in my watch list, what I need to do, I hover my mouse over here and then come here and click on this flag symbol. So the moment I click on flag, as you can see now, it's in the red color. So red color is default of the flag. Over here, as you can see, I have the watch list. So if I click on this arrow, open list, and in here I can choose the list that I have. In this case, as you can see, I have a flag list called the red list. So if I click on this, as you can see, the pair that I liked, Euro USD, appears over here in my red list. Now, let's say I want to also choose GBP USD. So I'm going to type GBP USD. Again, Oando server, I click on Oando, and this is the pair that I would like to have. I come over here, click on the red button, and as you can see, GBP USD appears here immediately in my list. Next one, so as you can see over here, I don't have to only choose Forex pairs. So what I can do, I can choose gold. So gold, I can write down XAU USD. So again, if I'm using an Oando, I'm going to use Oando, XAU USD, and over here I can just add it to my watch list. So I can just simply build my watch list, and as you know, I can add crypto as well. Say for example BTC USD. So in this case, I'm looking for Coinbase, so I'm going to add BTC USD Coinbase as well, and BTC USD shows in my watch list as well. So I can just navigate between these pairs by simply clicking on the pair itself. So far we discussed about our watch list, the list that we can actually make, the main UI, how the top navigator or top indicators and navigation items work. For example, different time frames, different style of the chart like bar or candles. Then we have the left pane, and if you would like to have any specific favorite tools, we could just mark them as favorite and we could have them on our fingertip all the time. Say for example, I would like to have a text over here, so I can just click on this text tool, can click over here, and I can add my text here. So I can just drag it, move it along as I wish. Say for example, I want to mark a specific part of the chart. So I can click on the rectangle tool as an example. I can come over here, drag it, drop it, and let's say mark this specific section of the chart. On the other side, if I want to put a specific horizontal line, so I can just click on horizontal array, and say for example, I want to mark this zone. So I simply click over here, then I can, just move it along or drop it at a specific zone that I am looking for. The same goes with the horizontal line, but the horizontal line is basically all the way from the beginning till the end. And so this is just a little bit different type of tool for different purpose. And of course I have the path. So as you can see, I can use the path to draw, say for example, market direction. As you can see, I'm doing it right now. And this is the path for this part of the price action if I would like to analyze it in a simple way. Now, what is a long and short position? Say, for example, I want to buy Bitcoin over here. So I can put the long tool or long position tool. I simply click, and let's say my entry happens around here. I can drag and put my stop loss right there as an example, and then I can have my, let's say, TP at this point over here. So this is a long position. That means the position is going for a buy. Now, short position is the opposite. This is when I want to sell. Say, for example, I put sell over here. I put my stop loss right there. And as you can see, for example, I would like to make a position like this for short position. So either way, long is used for when you buy, short is used for when you sell. Next thing that I would like to know, or I would like to tell you about, is moving averages. So one of the most useful indicators that I could recommend to use is moving averages. So if I come over here, click on indicator and start typing moving average, and as you can see, there are different indicators showing up. So it depends if you have a specific moving average in mind to choose, and you can find it over here and you can select it, or simply you can click on moving average convergence divergence, or just the moving average exponential as an example. So at this point, when I clicked, if I come over here and click on this trash button, remove 7 drawings, you can see that this blue line appeared in my chart. So as you can see right now, over here, I can see the moving average exponential EMA 9 close. So if I click on this setting right there, I can see there is a length, there's a source, offset, etc. Then there's a style, and then there's a visibility. So the input matters. Say, for example, at this point it's showing me 9 EMA. So for example, one of the most useful one is 50. So I can choose 50, and as soon as I hit OK, you can see the moving average, which is a 50 EMA at this point. So as you can see now, the line moved a little bit different because it shows the distance, which is the 50 instead of 9. So the smaller the number, the closer the moving average to the actual price move. So we use moving averages for different purposes that I will explain later on in another video. The next thing I would like to discuss about is alerts. So say, for example, you want to enter a long position when the price action is at a specific point in time. Say, for example, you wanted to enter a long position at this point, which the price is 64,000 in this case for the Bitcoin. So if I move my cursor, as you can see, there's this plus button right here. So if I click on the plus, then it shows me as an alert on, for example, BTC USD at this specific price. So if I click on that, then I can see an alert showing up right there. If I double click it, then I can choose the condition, in this case price or the EMA. If it is a crossing up, crossing down, so I can choose exactly what value that I'm looking for. And trigger, it could be only once, or I can create a condition for that. And there could be an expiration date. So for example, I want it for a period of time. I don't want to keep it forever. So if I want to keep it for a longer period, I just can simply come over here and choose a specific date. What message? So if I click on this, so in this case, it says BTC crossing this price, or I can just simply change it, time to buy Bitcoin. So I can just click apply and it changes the message for me. And also I can choose a notification type, which in this case, usually it is, I don't touch it as app toast as it is right now. So if I click save, I can see that there is an alert over here at this price point on BTC for me, and I would like to buy. So that's why I have this alert. So in this case, I don't have to always sit down and stare at the chart to see if the price is at a certain point that I want. So I know, for example, when the price is at this point, then I get an alert. I come over here, then I can see, okay, if I want to enter or not. And to remove this alert is pretty simple. Just hover over it and then click on the delete button. It asks you, are you sure? Then you click yes. And the alert disappears. Now, the next more important thing for me essentially is how the UI looks like. So I usually don't like it the way it looks like right now. There's extra grid over here, the colors, maybe it's not my favorite, or what I see over here in my watch list I don't need as well. So what I do usually is I go over here, click on these three dots, and usually for me what matters is to see the change percentage. So I don't need to know anything else. I keep it like this, simple and clean. So I can see the change percentage. Again, this for me shows, for example, in a matter of day or hours, how much the price is moving up or down. And also I can make my watch list a little bit narrower. On the other side, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna click on the setting over here. As you can see over here, first of all, I have the symbols. So for the candles, I don't like this specific color, so I changed it a little bit, maybe a little bit better green. So for example, I can choose this green, and for the red, maybe I would choose a little bit lighter red. And for the body, I don't need for the border, and I don't need for the wick as well. So for the wick, actually, I would keep it as black. The same for down, and for the border as well, I could just simply click on black. Now, if I look at the chart, for me, it looks more sharper. So I can see that when the price is bullish, or when the market is bullish, I see it as green, and when it's bearish, I see it as red. So if I don't like this green, I just come over here, come at this point, click on the green. Maybe I want it a little bit more nicer that I would prefer. So in this case, maybe a little more bluish would sound better. Okay, so this I like more. In this case, as you can see, my bullish candles are in blue and my bearish candles are in red, and the wicks are in black. But also the corners or the borders are also in black, so it kind of indicates, for me personally, a better UI. I like it that there is a background in white, so I can see it. It doesn't harm my eyes. So for me, that's what I prefer. I click over here again. Maybe I go to canvas. I don't like to see the grid lines, so I take them off. Click OK. Now it's much cleaner for me, and it's way easier for me to read the market. If I go to daily view, again, very clean, very nice, without any clutter. So I can see clearly how the price action looks like. I have my candles in a different color, in this case blue and red. The borders are black, wicks are black, background is completely white without any type of grid lines. And for me personally, is much easier and simpler to understand what the market is actually doing. And if I go to line chart, of course, as you can see, line chart comes up in blue or purple or whatever the color is. At this point, essentially, depends on me how much I use this chart. I mainly use the candlesticks because candlesticks shows different price action for me, and each candle has a different meaning that I would explain some of these candle patterns or some of these candle shapes later on during the course. So for example, when I see there is a wick over here, that indicates a specific meaning for me that I like to see, versus if I go to line chart, I don't see the wick over here. There is no wick. So I would choose my candlestick layout, and I would have my colors, blue and white, blue and green, and or green or red. And I have my moving average at this point, which is 50 EMA. During the course, I will tell you what exact indicators I use, what are the moving averages I use, etc. for my trading and for what purposes later on. This is all you need for now. Don't worry how TradingView looks like. Don't worry that we don't have too much indicators or stuff like that. You don't have to have fancy indicators. All you need to know is a clean chart, a place where you can analyze the price action, where you can understand how the market moves so that you are going to be able to enter a logical position. In my opinion, the cleaner the chart, the better you trade. Now you know how to navigate TradingView, change markets and timeframes, create a watch list, use basic drawing tools, add indicators, create alerts, and save your workspace. In the next lesson, I will explain to you how to use MetaTrader 4 or MetaTrader 5. I will show you what MT4 and MT5 are, how they're different from TradingView, and how traders are actually using it to execute trades. And that's it. I will see you in the next lesson.